and it's just I have just got confused, but actually, so it's fine. So I'm fine, but actually, so it's just so I don't know whether you know this or not, but actually, so so I had used if Evernote. I have just forgot the name of that application, but actually, so once I had used Evernote, which is the name of an application for creating a note for for creating episodes of podcast. But actually, so so there was I think some of you or many of you know that the design of Evernote was changed, and so I used that application, or I used Evernote for I used Evernote, and which is Evernote as and freely, which means so I have used I'm sorry I'm sorry I wanted to say that so I have used a free plan, or the free plan of Evernote, but actually the design or the content or the specification of the free plan of Evernote was changed, and so the largest number of notes I can was each user can create not but is 50, and the maximum number, or the maximum quantity of notes each user can create each user of Evernote can create is 50, and each user can create only one notebook, I think, according to a source of information online. So anyway, so which is why, so I was so how should I say, so I was adjusting, or I was trying to replace many notes into 50 notes, and I'm deleting some notes, which is what I was doing. And anyway, but actually, so I'm not exhausted, but actually, that can be a waste of time. But actually, I need to do that. So, but anyway, I was busy for arranging notes of Evernote. And hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version, and this time, so as I have told you in the last episode, and I'm thinking of creating episodes of podcast in accordance with my creating online documents or online web pages for posting into Medium. And anyway, so this time I created how should I say, I created not a draft version, but actually I have created a final note of an online article, or of an online document. And anyway, so I should tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode, and the title is case study. And this time this title has parentheses and image. The two words case study are incorporated, and case study girls loving teasing disabled peers, and which is the title of this episode. That title is shocking, or that title is surprising in many ways, or disgusting for some people. And the conclusion is, so a new content has been created, and which is the conclusion, and which is the same as that of last time. And anyway, so I created an episode, or I created an article, or online document for Medium, and anyway, so the title is the same, and case study girls loving teasing disabled peers. And maybe I have told you that I have told you this in last episode, where it was the episode before the last episode I created last time. But actually, so anyway, so I created an online written document. And anyway, so I should tell you parts of that online document. Wait a moment, please. So not this note, not this one, but actually this one. Anyway, so I'm thinking of this time. I'm not taking a long time, so which is why, so you can finish listening. You can finish listening to this episode soon enough. And wait a moment, please. The summary, which is what I'm going to speak out. The summary of this actual case of bullying or tormenting peers is two sadistic Japanese girls had sexually teased and tortured an intellectually disabled people. No, not disabled people, but disabled boy. Those two Japanese girls had sexually teased and tortured an intellectually disabled boy. And anyway, so this time I embedded. Well, I'm going to embed. I haven't uploaded this online document into Medium, so I'm thinking of embedding another online content written in Japanese language into the online content, or into the online document I have created this time. And so which means, so anyway, so I should tell you this one at first. And first of all, please access the description column of this episode so that you can find us a link to that online document I created this time. And from that online Medium document, you can access access another document written in Japanese, and the content, or the how should I say, the topic, or the what is written in that Japanese content is the inward, or the actual event of that case, of that bullying or tormenting or sexual abuse case, which was, and that case was perpetrated by two Japanese sadistic girls, and the victim was a disabled Japanese boy. I'm sorry for my clumsy manner of speaking or describing things. That is because, and if you are frequent listeners of my podcast, you have already known that I'm a non-native speaker of English language, and to start with, so maybe as I have given a hint, and my mother tongue is Japanese, and which is why I'm extremely bad at speaking English. Anyway, so, and this is all the stuff I'd like you to know this time, so how should I say? Anyway, and this content has a section or a part explaining what to do, and anyway, so I should tell you this one. If you live in Japan, or if you live in this time, if you live in this country, Japan, and have disabled children by yourselves, I recommend you leaving this country. And this is what is written in the part titled "What to Do," and this part is incorporated into the section titled "Discussion," or named "Discussion." And unless your children are smart and have high scores in tests in schools, and anyway, so if your children are smart, and if your children can get high scores in daily tests, or in tests in schools, or in their schools, it's fine. You can send those children to smart schools, or to posh schools, for example. So maybe in the case of England, not England, but Great Britain, but in England, Eton is located in England, so in which case, it's what I have just told you is fine. Anyway, there are such, or if you are rich, if you are extremely rich, so it's fine that you have your children enroll in Harrow School, for example. There's such a posh school, isn't there, in Great Britain, or in United Kingdom, and such a thing is what I'm saying. And if you live in Japan, this country has some posh schools, or private schools. The term private school is sometimes confusing. In the case of so Great Britain, private school is a kind of a type of public school, I don't know much about the education system of Great Britain, and anyway, so independent school is a school for no. Yeah. Independent school is a private school. Is a independent school is a type of private school, and you used the term of which is used in the United States. I'm sorry for my bad explanation, but actually, so anyway, please forgive my low proficiency or my low skill of English language or handling English language. Anyway, so anyway, this is all the stuff I think well. Anyway, so that's it. And I should tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. And so wait a moment, please. The title of this episode is Case Study, Goats Loving Teasing Disabled Peers. And the conclusion is a new content has been created. And please read that actual online document I created this time. And this is all the stuff I'd like you to know this time. And if you have children and is living in Japan, so I recommend that you read that document. And if your children are if your children are grown ups, I'm sorry for my mistake of singular and plural. And if some of your children, if some of your children living in Japan, children. So my mother tongue is confusing. My mother tongue is confusing between the pronunciations of L and R. So children is what I have pronounced. So children, yes. If some of your children living in Japan, I recommend that you recommend this online document. I recommend that you recommend that your children read this online document this time. I'm sorry for my confusing explanation, and I would like your children to read this online document I created this time. And if your children are grown-ups living in Japan or living in this country, so that's it. Thank you very much for listening. See you, and please access the description column of this episode so that you can find us a link to that online document I have just created this time.